What is up, guys? Good morning and welcome back. It's been well over a month since I've filmed an episode. As most of you know, I've been in the process of moving halfway across the country to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And although I did start filming a little bit of the numerous trips down with all my stuff and all the cars, I quickly realized that it was an overwhelming task with everything else that was on the burners. So, being completely burnt out on the YouTube stuff and everything that was on my plate in general, I didn't film hardly anything of the actual move. I brought the Polo and the 700 down in my trailer on the first run behind my van, with my van filled with stuff. And then the second run down, I rented a 26-foot U-Haul box truck, put the Corvair on a trailer behind it, and my parents and their dog trailered my Century down on my dad's trailer behind his truck. But we're here. I'm not set up yet, but I figured I'd get right to filming an episode for you guys and kind of show you where I'm at. We're heading up the driveway right now. I'm in North Chattanooga, Tennessee, at the new house in the new shop, which is my friend Andy's house that I am now renting out. And it's really quite an awesome spot. It's a whole new chapter. I'm very familiar with Chattanooga and have many friends here. I'm going to give you guys a quick look at the place. It's not even remotely close to where I need it and where I want it, but I've been deep cleaning and setting everything up. So here we are. This is a 3-bedroom, 1,500 square foot house atop a 1,500 square foot shop with 2 overhead doors and a little loading dock door on the south side of the house where the trailer is at the moment. Tall ceilings, about 12 feet of space to the trusses underneath, and really quite a dream setup. Andy still has a lot in the shop and out here in the yard that hasn't been taken yet, so not all the space is mine yet. The CRX is his. There's a Camry over here and just lots of stuff. The van and the trailer out here are obviously mine. So as I mentioned, the shop is not set up yet. I'm still in the process of trying to get my laser machine shop set up down in the corner of the garage. The original plan was to try to get my laser machine upstairs. Because it's a 3-bedroom house and I'm living here alone, I've got a lot of room upstairs to set up my podcast studio, the recording studio for all my music, and I had a 3rd bedroom that was large enough to fit the laser machine. But once we realized how big the machine really was going to be upstairs, trying to get it upstairs, it's got to be taken apart and flipped on its side to get through a man door. Plans kind of changed and realized that it would really be easiest to have it down here. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I blew my back out trying to move the machine with my father before we even got it in the U-Haul truck. And this was before anything got put in the U-Haul truck. So I lost my back, which gives me grief anyway from all the years of BMX. I was completely useless for most of the loading of the truck, which was a super bummer. Really brought me down quite a bit. But I didn't want to take up any space in the shop with the laser machine. I wanted to keep it all automotive room and all that. And the fact that it's Tennessee and it's super humid, that machine has to be in a very dry environment. Humidity is really bad for the electronics in that machine. And downstairs here is super humid. The central AC ductwork runs along the floor of the house, which is ultimately the ceiling of the shop. So it does stay relatively cool, but it's super humid. So once we got down here, I invested in a larger and more industrial sized dehumidifier in order to keep the downstairs super clean. Super dry now, much more comfortable. Like I said, I'm getting one of the corners that I've kind of sacrificed for the laser shop all set up. I'm not up and running yet. I'm itching to do so because this whole move has been a financial burden and just an overall stress for the most part. If any of you have moved with numerous cars and a shop and all that, you know how stressful that can be. I am working around a car. Andy's grandfather's car is in here. It's a full-size car too, so I'm kind of at a standstill for setting up the shop. But I'm gonna get some more lighting up overhead and just continue cleaning. But I know you guys want to see inside, so let's head on in and take a look. 1,500 square feet. The last shop I was just in up in New Hampshire was only 900 square feet. Very, very small, barely enough room to store the Corvair, the 700, and the Century. And even then, there was no room for my laser shop or really another car on a lift to work on or anything like that. So being a 2-bay garage, my plan is, since there's a drain in this bay right here, which unfortunately swoops down quite a bit, it's real tough to get a car to lay level in this bay, simply because if you're setting up suspension or wheel fitment, that'd be pretty tough. But down here it's flat, so in this bay is where I envision a 2-post lift. And I've got some ideas as to how we could fit a 2-post lift in here as long as the floor allows it. That'll allow this bay to be a workshop bay. I've got the 700 tucked in down here for now. The Century fits in here with no problems at all. But this Dart is massive. And so once that gets out, as well as some speaker cabinets that Andy still has in here, he's got some stuff down here. I've been basically migrating off his stuff to one end of the shop so I can work from one end to the other with all my stuff. I'm still not moved in upstairs completely or at all. So all this stuff in this corner is still mine. Lots of it needs to go in my trailer, like for my Governor's Club and Ludwick's Garage booth setup. Lots of shop implements and tooling. My toolbox will end up down here at this end. I'm going to ultimately take this ladder rack out and this whole wooden shelving unit so the 700 can essentially fit back into this corner. Then the Corvair can park here. Where the Dart is will be shop implements basically separating the 2 bays, and then hopefully a lift. And then down here with lots more lighting overhead. So basically from where the Dart is all the way down will be the automotive and fab shop, trying to separate the shop into 2 pieces for the most part. There is a bathroom and a shower down here. Hasn't been used in a long time, but it's nice that it's there. They've got a washer and dryer set up down here, but I did bring a stacker that I have just to take up less floor space. And Andy and I already have a mutual friend of ours who's willing to take that washer and dryer as well. So as I mentioned, I've been working from this corner down, vacuuming the walls, vacuuming the trusses, getting all the spider webs out. I'm from the north, and I've already killed a black widow spider in here. And when I lived in Nashville, Tennessee about 10 years ago, I got bit by a brown recluse, and I freak out over that stuff. I've been vacuuming every nook and cranny under the stairs. I took a giant shelving unit out of here. This has to be as clean a room as possible. I've got my old small dehumidifier down here working in tandem with the new big unit, and I've gotten the humidity from 88%. It was like 88 or 89% in here from the readings on the machine down to 50%, which is a favorable operating humidity percentage for the laser machine. So it's been massive to take a 1,500 square foot space with this type of volume, with a tall, basically 14 feet to the subfloor, and get it down to 50% humidity in here. It feels a world of difference. So at the moment, I'm kind of racing the weather. I went and purchased an electric pressure washer, an electric blower, a concrete scrubber yesterday. I've been investing tons of money in things that I didn't really have to invest in back at my shop because I live so close to my father's shop. I used a lot of his stuff. But I want to be working on the Century here pretty soon and taking more care of that. So after it rode down here on an open trailer, 1,500 miles through a monsoon in Pennsylvania. So with the new pressure washer and things set up here, I'm gonna pull this out and wash it. We've got rain on the way today. I got down here for the last time with my folks, all my stuff, the Century and the Corvair, about a week ago. A little over a week ago now. And the Century's been sitting in here just covered in that road grime for that amount of time. So it's the next day, and yesterday was basically dodging rain for the entire day. So I got the Dart outside, got the Century outside, started working on hanging some of my LED lights. They aren't the best shop lighting, but they're super inexpensive and they've got the bright white color. They don't have like that weird yellowish fluorescent hue to them. So I had a whole box of those, and oddly enough, Andy had a handful already strung up in the same color, same plug. They're like a T5 or T8 LED light. So he had them already set up down here, and so what I've been doing is running new ones down at this part of the shop, because this is like the real dark end of the shop. Andy paints cars on the side, and he had a paint booth, like a tent, set up in here where you'd come in this first door, and the tent went transverse to the layout of the shop. So you'd pull a car in through this bay, turn to the left, and drive straight into the paint booth here. So he didn't have any lights set up overhead on the trusses because he had internal lights inside the tent. And obviously that's why the floor is covered in like body dust and just paint vapor dust. And I did buy a concrete or floor scrubber with the pressure washer I bought, which is an electric pressure washer. Neighbors are pretty close by here. I've had the pleasure of meeting both of them, and they're great. They seem like great people. But as many electronic powered implements for outside, the better, in my opinion. Just, I don't know, just so I'm the new guy on the block, and I don't want to be running a bunch of like gas powered stuff outside like late at night or whenever I may be doing it. In here is just a bathroom and shower that we're storing some stuff in. The toilet and a shower. So that's nice to have that down here. I mean, with the bathroom upstairs in the house, it would have been nice to have been able to utilize this corner of the shop without taking up this much space with the bathroom. But I didn't spec or build the place out, nor did Andy. Originally, this building was built by a gentleman who owned an electrical company. And this was not designated to be a house. This was his fleet and shop garage, basically. So his vans would sit in here. He had shelving units all the way down. I mean, that's what the ladder rack is for, put their ladders on. There was a shelving unit here that I took down. Everything was still labeled. As you can see, it was all electrician. So he built this place for just that. Down here was shop, inventory, vans, and upstairs was all employee lounge, another bathroom, offices. The 3 bedrooms now were offices, and then what is now the kitchen and living room was like an employee lounge, basically. This is a perfect spot, especially for where it is in the country. There's no brutal winters. I've explained this before on the YouTube channel and on Instagram. This is why I've moved down to Tennessee, is I don't have to store my cars for 6 months every single winter from November to May. Up north in New Hampshire, they salt the roads all the way through April, so you don't want to have your summer cars out even during the month of April half the time. This all came together super fast, quicker than I really wanted it to, simply because I wasn't really ready to pack everything up and come down here. So I'm kind of frantically scrambling to get things back in order and get back to working. So now that my laser machine is all back together, I'm waiting on a few new implements that I've ordered for this, simply because now's the time to do it before I get all set back up. That's basically it. Just a quick update on my life and where I'm at now. But that'll do it for this episode. I'm gonna pull the cars back in. It's getting pretty dark outside, and continue setting things up. Hopefully I will see you guys again very soon with more updates on the shop, how things are coming together. Big news on the Century. I want to get the shop set up as soon as possible so I can get to work on that, because I have some plans for that car coming up in the next few months, which I will tell you guys all about here pretty soon. Hope you guys are all well. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode.